Hello everybody, let's just get the desktop audio turned up a little bit, that should be a lot better. One day I will figure out how to begin the stream without bringing up an outdated image of the calendar. I've had a very eventful day today. I did plan on changing the calendar so that it would reflect the real results, but talking about results, I got university results that I was not expecting to come out this early, and so I've been a little sidetracked for today, but that will be updated for the next race. Anyway, we're following on with Dusty Lusky, aka Zed Lusky, since we changed to cross-play names. Let's see, we've got Lanzi on an outlap as well. I think the furthest forward anybody is Lusky, so we will stay with him. Right at the beginning of qualifying, nobody to set a time yet. If you guys have any suggestions for our formation lap slash strategy screen entertainment, please let me know. I will try to oblige. I don't care. You can have me doing whatever random stuff you want. You know, as long as it works. Bear in mind, I can't play any Steam games while I have F1 open. Yellow flags already. Is the Aston Martin there of DC Manaman? Let's Lusky go by. Hopefully somebody in chat can let me know that the audio levels are okay. So I have chat open now, so if there's anybody there. Lusky has invalidated his lap, so that will not count. Let's see what Lanzi's doing though. He's coming through Sector 1, the Aston Martin. The Red Bull driver, sorry, not Aston Martin. What am I doing? I was thinking back to DC Manaman, letting Lusky passed in the first sector, but talking about first sectors, Lanzi's gone purple there. Brilliant start for the Red Bull, not Aston Martin, Red Bull driver. GW, you need to reveal who you are. This GW fella is always here. I hope it's not something incredibly obvious. I hope we don't have like a driver on the grid called GW that I have just never noticed. That would be kind of funny. Jake in the chat as well, thanks for that. Lanzi cut that very fine there on the inside. He didn't leave much track to stay within the limits, but he's managed to do it. Not using as much on the outside as he could have done, but you know, he's a better driver than me on this game, so maybe that's the best way to do it. Let's ride on board with him as he almost clips both apexes. Slayrized setting the first lap time, nope, the second lap time, sorry, over 134.9. We'll see if Lanzi can improve upon that. He should do, considering in the purple first sector. Yeah, he does at 133.8. Oh, the G stands for Gabby. Oh my goodness me. Okay. Damn. I should have figured that out because I know the first and the last name. Kind of annoyed with myself that I didn't get that actually, but that's all good. Dace has gone P2 because he can never win anything. What's Lusky doing? Hightower drops down to P5, Slayrise down to P4 because Impossible Bacon has just set a lap time that puts him P3. Lusky apparently setting the fastest middle sector. So what can he do here? Only a couple of corners will remain. coming through the final corner now is Lusky. DRS open, crosses the line, P4. He can't be too disheartened with that. The only drivers in front of him being pretty quick drivers in their own right. DC Manaman taking a little bit of a risk there, slowing down on pit exit. You can get disqualified there for blocking the pit exit, but he's gotten away with it, fortunately. Now, a fun thing, his name really is DMCMANA Man. It would be DMC Manaman, but I think for the entirety of this season I've been calling him DC Manaman. So basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to continue calling him DC Manaman, and he can change his name if he would like to. If not, then his name will continue to be said incorrectly. I don't think I can retrain the muscle memory. I'd still say it's muscle memory, right? Like it's the muscles around the mouth that, and the throat too, I suppose, that form words. So I'm still going to say that that's muscle memory. Calibob finishing off sector 2 according to the game, but not according to reality, as he is still in sector 2. The DRS wide open as he comes down the straight. He stays tight to the right hand side, which does actually cut down the mileage from the beginning of the straight to the end of the straight, which can gain you a couple hundredths of a second at least on previous titles. Swinging nice and wide to open up the corner as he apparently sets a fastest middle sector. You can't quite trust the game with that middle sector. If it's a first sector that it says is fastest, a third sector it says is fastest, believe it. Something to do with the middle sector causes it to freak out just a little bit. It doesn't like it. Anyway, he has just gone through the penultimate corner, now goes through the final corner. What lap time will we see? We'll see P5 at 134.5. Not bad from Calirob, but he can certainly improve upon that. And someone that will want to have a qualifying time that is better than P5 is this man, Scornsey. He will definitely want to be challenging at the top end of the field. We've got Lanzi on provisional pole, of course, and of course no jug here today, with a very cut down field size. So it's all to play for at the front, really. We've seen a trend of no jug winning races, though Scornsey did win the last race we did, which was at Monza, and he now puts himself on provisional pole position with 133.6. And in that Monza race, we did see a Red Bull 1-2. Let's see if this qualifying position translates to the race. We may well see that again. You know what? My friends thought I was crazy because the other day, Lanzi's up a 10th actually in Sector 1. That's more important than the nonsense that I'm talking about. But I went to play golf the other day, and I brought an extra pair of socks, and they thought I was crazy because I was worried. I thought I'd bring an extra pair of socks just in case I get a hole in one. So I brought an extra pair. They're getting worse. They're getting worse every single week. Here's a good one. So, if you weren't somehow clued in, I don't know how you wouldn't be clued in, but a dace is a type of fish, and of course we have a driver here called Dace. Here he is. So I'll give you guys maybe 20 seconds or so to guess in chat. What do you call a dace in a tuxedo and a bow tie? as Lanzi puts himself on provisional pole position with a 1:33.4. So yeah, what do you call a dace wearing a tuxedo and a bow tie? See, you can really essentially cut the corner there on the inside. Cut a lot of ground out and still stay within track limits. So we don't have any guesses so far now as to what you call a dace wearing a bow tie. You call him sophisticated. Don't all laugh at once. As Dace crosses the line and goes P2 with a 1:33.522. Just over half a tenth away from Lanzi in P1. I'll leave it to you guys. You guys can decide. Would you like to hear another joke, or would you not like to hear another joke? That is completely your choice. We have VTech in chat, so I'm more than likely just going to get bullied for the entirety of this race, but that's what we're here for. We move. We'll get on with it. VTech says no jokes because he's boring. VTech, is there a Puerto Rico joke? Is there a Puerto Rico joke? I need a Puerto Rico joke to get VTech on side. Is there a Puerto Rico joke? Oh no. Okay, I decided to Google Puerto Rican jokes, but they're all incredibly racist, so never mind. They're funny though. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Hey, oh, that was racist to two different types of people. That's impressive. Anyway, let's have a look what DC Manaman's doing. He seems to be on an in lap, and everybody else is in the pits, so it is a little bit of a lull in proceedings here. If you just give me 1 second here. It's as I said, I do need some suggestions for entertainment. I have the preliminary idea set up now. Thanks for that, allowing that slight pause. And yeah, I know. I mean, I'm reading through these. I'm reading through these jokes. I decided to Google some Puerto Rican jokes. I didn't have any saved up, unfortunately. I'm trying to think. Do I have any jokes that I've not yet said? I used quite a lot of them last week. I kind of upset everybody by using an incredible amount of jokes. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So I went to the pub the other day, and they were all betting on the horse racing. So someone asked me, "Do I have a tip for them?" So I said, "Yeah, I've got a tip. Don't buy leggings from a mermaid." Anyway, Slayerized crosses the line. His best time currently is a 1:34.3, but I'm sure he wants to improve that. He's on the soft tyres. Looking to get a quick time, of course, in qualifying. Very easy to lose traction through that chicane. There is not much grip. But he's managed to keep it together there. And we will see once he crosses the timing line here, at the end of the other end of this straight, we will see where he stands in relation to his best lap time. Hightower has backed off. He has invalidated. Clearly he has gone outside of the white lines that dictate the track limits. Dace, he is at the end of the last straight, and I actually missed what the time screen said there. But we will actually hop on board with Dace as he goes through the penultimate corner and then through the final corner, but he has invalidated, so we will hop on board with probably Slayerized. He's the next person to cross the lines. He makes his way also through the penultimate corner, approaching the final corner, trying to carry the speed through the apex. DRS wide open across the line he goes, up to P6. Let's have a look what Scornsy can do. DRS open on the short run up to the line. He's set to 1:33.6. Not quite good enough to jump up into P1. I think Lanzi, though, is not on a hot lap. He is preparing for one, making sure he gets around just in time to start one. Dace is over a 10th up. As it stands, he would be only just short of pole position, but will he improve within the second and third sectors? Here goes Lanzi. He's starting his final lap now. Where's DC Manaman? He is in P3 with a 1:33.5, and he can set another lap time, and I'm sure he will. Dace has invalidated. He's thrown it all away in typical Dace fashion. Scornsy then is our leader in terms of the people to still be setting competitive and valid lap times. He has set a purple middle sector. He's 2/100ths of a second up, which is nowhere near enough at this point to grab pole, so he needs to find a lot of time in the third sector if he can. Nice and tight to the white line through the first half of that sweeping right-hander through the penultimate corner. He goes running out onto the curbing on the right-hand side to carry the most amount of speed and open up the corner, and he does the same for the final corner, crossing the line with the DRS wide open, and he does jump up to provisional pole, but Lanzi is still going. He's over a 10th of a second up on his time. If he were to cross the line now, he would be on pole position with that benefit, but he span. It's gone for Lanzi. Lanzi will not be claiming pole position here. DC Manaman seems to have backed off, perhaps. Yeah, he has. Bacon has just crossed the line. He cannot improve. Hightower about to cross the line. DRS open for him. He crosses the line. Stays P10. Lanzi is pitting. He knows he can't improve, and DC Manaman has no front wing, so it's going to be Scornsy on pole position with Lanzi in P2. Lanzi had that pole position for the taking. He was in his lap time was going to take him P1, but he finishes in P2. VTech makes a very good point in chat that such a performance does warrant. There you go. See, I'm not on form. I need to get back in the correct frame of mind. But yeah, 1/10 plus 100th of a second separates P1 and P2. Very fine margins. As we head into the race, and we may see a Red Bull civil war going into this race and throughout the course of this race, because it seems like P1 and 2 are very close. But talking about very close, Dace and DC Manaman 2/100ths of a second exactly between the two of them in P3 and P4. So we may well have a 4-car fight for the win here, but don't count out Lusky. He will stay under the radar, you will not see him, and then bang, last lap of the race, he's in second somehow. I don't know why. He's got no penalties. Canadian magic. Calibob in P6 with Sharia Coleslaw in P7. We have Slayerized in P8 and Impossible Bacon in P9. Hightower rounds off our grid in P10, and I didn't have to rap God any of the final positions there because we do have a slightly shortened grid for tonight. It's quite interesting though because we have quite high viewership. It's almost as if half of the grid have decided to not race but to watch. Because yeah, we're bouncing. Okay, we're at that point. VTech does like to watch. This is true. Anyway, talking about watch, why don't you watch the entertainment? Okay, I'm about to play chess and probably lose, but you know what? It's more interesting than looking at mechanics that are T-posing. I may be wrong about that. Maybe it's not so interesting. But we're going to play chess anyway. We've got a 1-minute game. Let's go. Bang. Playing a London system. Oh, he brings the queen out early, looking to attack. That's fine. He can attack there, he can attack there, and it's covered. Let's keep doing our London system. Attack the queen. Bang. He blunders straight away. If takes, takes. That's fine. We need to bring the bishop out first. Bring the queen out. It's castle. We may even end up just winning on time here. He attacks the pawn, but we've got the pawn defended. He brings the pawn forward. Let's do this. See, this is more of an idea for if they were to push c4 and attack here. That's when you sort of do that, but we move. Let's keep making our moves. He's on 28, I'm on 34, so I'm winning on time at the moment. I can't move this bishop really. Those diagonals are all cut off, but that's a nice safe square for the knight. Okay, we can go here, but it's not defended, so let's bring this out to try and defend that. Yeah, he does defend that. He can't, the king can't take. Now he loses a rook. Now I'm going to play this. He can't defend it well, and I have to play this. We can probably sacrifice a bishop here to make up space on this diagonal. Yep, boom. Not a diagonal, it was a vertical. But we move. Now, we can't quite go there, but we can go there, and we fork 2 pieces. He has to move that to defend it, and I take that, and then I can come back and take this if I wish. He doesn't let me, so I go there. Then I take. Easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. And just as I say that, we get towards the end of the formation lap, so that was something for you guys to watch. Yes, VTech, I know, don't worry, I'm not losing track of time. I've won a chess game and I still have time to watch the drivers parking up. A little bit of a burnout there from Lancy. Parking up perfectly there, the Red Bull driver. Scornsy a little bit pointed towards the inside there, having a look at covering off Lancy. I'm sure Lancy's very much aware of that, and we're going to watch as we go to 5 red lights. We'll hop back a little bit, watch on board with DC Manor on 5 red lights, and away we go. And that's an amazing start from Lancy. A bad start from DC Manor, and we'll jump on board with Dace. Lancy as well down the inside there on Scornsy, and Lanzi has taken the lead into turn 1. Dace is trying to follow them through, but he can't. They're going to be side by side as we enter the S's. Lanzi, though, has the preferable line, even though the inside is controlled by Scornsy, and Scornsy does take P1. With that inside line, though, Lanzi's going to look to come back at him here, taking a wider line. He's going to get a better exit out of this corner and can maybe challenge into the next section. Scornsy still in P1, Dace right behind Lanzi, though he gets a good run on him. He may look to go to the inside here, and he does go down the inside here on Lanzi. This helps Scornsy in his attempt to get away, because Lusky is going to be right behind the both of them, and he's going to have a slipstream, and the other two drivers are not. He needs to make sure he is clear of Calirob. He is, so he can pull out at the very last second, use some ERS if he wants to, but he doesn't want to. And go down the inside. We're going to see it 3 wide here between these two drivers, and boom, Lusky has absolutely mugged Dace and Lanzi, and Calirob even ends up in P3. So those drivers too caught up with fighting each other, and have not looked behind them, because these two drivers have now jumped themselves up into P2 and 3. A great start by Lusky and Calirob, and this really helps Scornsy, who now has a 1.5 second advantage up front. Scornsy, of course, setting the fastest lap of the race, being the person that starts in P1. Calirob under a slight bit of pressure there from Dace, but nothing more than he can comfortably handle. Let's go have a look what's going on at the back. We've got Bacon at the back. Something that must have happened to him. Hightower struggling to stay within the 1 second margin of Slayerized, who is himself almost a second and now over a second behind Sharia Coleslaw in P7. We have DC Manaman just ahead of him. He's looking to challenge Lanzi after the poor start from the Red Bull driver and from the Mercedes driver in front of him. But let's ride on board with Calirob. We get the predicted pit stop strategy, so a one stop looking like the most likely choice, but COTA is a fun one, which it's a track where either strategy can work, in my experience at least. You can pull off a one stop, you can pull off a two stop. I think we will see the majority of drivers going for the one stop, as DC Manaman and Lanzi swap places there. So DC Manaman did manage to keep on the back of the Dutch driver, and he got that moved on. Lanzi will be a little bit cautious through here, as this is where he span during qualifying. Saying that, he manages to keep that pretty much flat out as he comes through the second corner now, and onto the final corner, a DRS straight, which will be enabled now as Lusky picks up the fastest lap of the race, very quickly taking that away from Scornsy, and DRS now enabled on this lap. We have a close battle for P7 though. That's Slayerized all over the back of Sharia Coleslaw as he enters the S section. And just watching this makes me excited for the next game. Now I'm going off of feedback here on the beta, and that comes from Sharia Coleslaw there in P7 and Impossible Bacon in P10, and maybe I shouldn't trust Impossible Bacon's feedback, as it doesn't look like he is incredible at driving, but I will implore you to realise that that is a feature of this game, I think, specifically, as opposed to the F1 games in general, even though I'm still better than him on the other F1 games as well. Had to get that one in there. It's a pretty unbiased broadcast, but I mean, it's still unbiased because that's just facts. That's just factual information that I've just provided to you guys. Yeah, I'm excited for the next game. It's supposed to be better than this game and pretty enjoyable, so hopefully I can bring my love of league racing back. You know, I won the league that was the most important to me and as a result of that, I kind of lost a bit of motivation. I sort of felt like I achieved what was my dream. And the fact that this game was kind of bad, by kind of bad I mean absolutely dreadful, didn't help with that situation. It wasn't a game that I wanted to race. But hopefully now I will want to race it. So we will find out. One day, VTech will stop to think, as we see Slayer Eyes pass Shri Coleslaw. Shri Coleslaw going for the move back on the outside, though. They're going to be side by side as we get to the next right-hander. Oh, I didn't mean to jump off of that. We've got Shri Coleslaw and Slayer Eyes swapping positions constantly. Slayer Eyes with the inside, though, for this next corner, but Shri Coleslaw sweeps around with the outside. Great move there by Coleslaw. As I was saying, one day VTech will realise that perhaps you should consider whether anyone cares about the stuff that he says. Oh, so we see Hightower the wrong way around. VTech likes to come with the smoke without realising that he himself is not the fire. Manzi trying to stick close to DC Manaman as we go through the S section, and the dirty air can make this rather difficult, but he's managed to keep himself pretty close on to DC Manaman. I would like to let the record show, as Impossible Bacon gets 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on track limits. I like the record to show that Nikki 64, who has raced here on previous occasions, did want to do a American themed special broadcast. I gave him that opportunity and he declined to do it, so not my fault. Sleigh Rise has passed Shreya Coleslaw. These two drivers swapping positions just like, and now I have to think back, what two drivers was it in Spa that kept swapping positions multiple years ago? I know one of them was Marcus Ericsson. You see Hightower slow. And I'm trying to think, who was it that kept passing Marcus Ericsson? They would pass each other on the Camel Straight. Not the Camel Straight. Is it the Camel Straight? I think it is the Camel Straight, actually. The first straight at the top of Eau Rouge Radion. That straight, it was Marcus Ericsson, and I think it may have been Pierre Gasly. I might be wrong. I know it was Marcus Ericsson, but I think it was Gasly. Maybe it was Hartley, actually. Maybe it was Brennan Hartley. Oh, I'm going to have to look this up now. They kept using the DRS on each other at the top of Eau Rouge Radion, down that straight, and they would just swap places every single lap in the Grand Prix. Who knows? Anyway, Shrikos was pretty close to the back of Slayerized, and Dace is pretty close on the back of Calirob as well, though this is clearly the closer fight, and I think Shrikos may have him here. You see the red light flashing on the back of the car ahead. That means the car ahead has less than 10% of his battery remaining, and whenever your battery level drops below 10%, the efficiency at which it is deployed reduces. So even if you're using overtake, your overtake is not as powerful. And Shreya Coleslaw gets that move done with the help of Slayerized's lack of ERS, but that is to the credit. We have a spin ahead. It's Dace. He rejoins behind Slayerized with Shreya Coleslaw just ahead of him. Lanzi, though, does not seem to be shaken by the nearby events on track as he has the DRS wide open on the back of DC Manaman. He looks to make the move perhaps, but though I think he is staying behind, waiting for the straight in which he can make the move without giving the opportunity, or giving an easy opportunity, for DC Manaman to overtake him. So I think he is going to wait for the very long straight, the straight that we saw a very large incident occur in NASCAR. NASCAR, America guns, yeah! That's where we saw the big crash, because it was wet conditions, you couldn't see anything. And yeah, look, a little bit twitchy there from DC Manaman. He manages to get the power down, but not after a little bit of difficulty. And Lanzi, sorry, not Sharia Coleslaw, Lanzi moves to the inside, but it looked like there was a little bit of lag there actually. He looked a lot closer on my screen, and we see Slayerized and Sharia Coleslaw at it once again. These two drivers absolutely inseparable here today, though Sharia Coleslaw has the inside line for this corner. He can cut Slayerized off unless Slayerized makes a dive around the outside or the inside, though he has Dace on the inside of him trying to make the move in the Mercedes car, side by side through this long right hand of it. Looks like Dace has got the move done. Slayerized is going to be comfortably behind him. Now Lanzi has the DRS wide open on the back of DMC Manaman. I said it correctly that time, but I do not intend to say it correctly on any other occasions. Dace looks like he has to stay behind for now, but Sharia Coleslaw is low on the ERS, so that presents an opportunity for the Mercedes man. Dace keeping Sharia honest, and he's gotten a better exit there, though a twitch of oversteer as he got to third or fourth gear there perhaps hindered that progress slightly, though he has still gained time, and the DRS down the straight is pretty powerful. Dace just needs to stay in the slipstream as well now with Sharia Coleslaw, who is low on ERS, using the slipstream and the DRS. www.slipstream.com/ERS. Down the inside he goes, and Sharia Coleslaw will look to fight that back, but I don't think he really is going to have ample opportunity against a naturally faster yet more inconsistent driver in the Flying Fish Dace. Lanzi is on the back of DC Manaman. He is all over him. He wants to make the move. I'm tempted to do interviews just to ask DMC Manaman how he pronounces his own PlayStation name. Though I'm not 100% sure if we will do interviews. But we'll see. You know what? I'm in a good mood. I did find out today, I'm sure I mentioned it already, that I have passed all of university, all 3 years, done and dusted, all completed, never have to think about it again. Super duper happy. VTech won't congratulate me because he's VTech, but I'm putting that out there into the universe anyway. Super happy. Let's have a great race. As VTech offers us insight in the chat. How does DMC Manaman pronounce his name? He pronounces it in English. Very helpful there from VTech. By very helpful, I mean about as helpful as VTech has ever been, which is not very helpful. Lanzi, though, looking for something helpful to help him in his progression forwards throughout the field. He's on the back of DC Manaman in P4, and now he's in the wall. That's not the button I wanted to press. That's the button I wanted to press. Down to P7 he goes, and then he pulls into the pits, needing a new front wing, no doubt. Well, DMC Manaman can breathe a sigh of relief. He is no longer under pressure, but talking about under pressure, Lusky is under pressure from Calirob. Thank you very much, Gabby. Thank you. Somebody in chat would like to be genuine and congratulate me on finally achieving something in my life. So thank you very much. And we see Dace retire from the session. He has crashed out. That's going to be a full course safety car. Let's watch on board with Slayer Eyes, see if he gets a good view. He's right there on the right hand side of the track. In the wall. It seems like perhaps the car fishtailed. But and he crashed out. Let's give him a spin sound, because he probably spinned at some point. Let's give him an air horn. Let's give him a boom. Let's give him a badum-ch, because I made a joke. Let's give him an oof. Let's give him a whirr. Let's give him an ack. Let's give him a do you know the way? Do you know the way? He does know the way. He knows the way to the barrier. Let's give him a Law and Order sound effect. Right, so we see Scornsy into the pits. He's going to change his medium tyres for hard tyres. We see Lusky in the pits. He's going to change his medium tyres to hard tyres. We see DC Manaman in the pits. Are we going to see a... Oh, no, he's been held up by his teammate there, Calirob. And that's not good for DC Manaman, though. I think he will still retain the position he was in. Sharia Coleslaw too far behind to make a difference there. Talking about Sharia Coleslaw, he's going to pit from mediums onto hards, I would imagine. Yep, he does. So everybody seems to be doing that strategy. Slayer-Eyes, will you do something different, new, out the box? No. No, onto hard tyres that we go. Talking about tyres, let's have a look at the tyre information. Hightower has stayed out and he is on a 10 lap old hards in P5, not as far forward as he would want to be after staying out on the tyres that he was on. Honestly, if I was him, this is difficult because he started the race on the hard tyres. Of course, the hard tyres go further into the race than the mediums do, but they tend to be slower than the mediums. So that's your trade-off between lap time and rate of degradation, which then decreases lap time as you go. And they can't reach as far into the race. Now, Hightower would not want to be pitting until, I don't know, let's say, for example, lap 17. He would want to go more than half of the race on hard tyres. This makes it difficult for him, this safety car, because the whole pack gets bunched up. And talking about difficult for him, I'm going to make it difficult for him on the broadcast by reacting immediately, just as Calirob did when the lights went out, and hitting him with the spin sound effect. If I was him, I don't know what I'd do here, because it's too early to go for mediums, and I don't think a two-stop is going to be quick enough, though it may be quite fun. He probably has to stay out here, but he's kind of screwed either way. So not great for Hightower. But he isn't as screwed as Dace, because Dace is out of this race, and Hightower does end up pitting. That will elevate Calirob into the bottom of the podium positions. I hope that was English, because I sort of kind of yawned midway through that. Hopefully that was intelligible. If it wasn't intelligible, then it pretty much mirrors the rest of what I've said through the entirety of this broadcast. Hightower and Lanzi leaving the pits in P8 and P9 respectively, and Scornsy is right on the back of the safety car. Hopefully the safety car will be in this lap. Of course, we have the whole of the field bunched up behind it. Only, of course, representing 9 cars after the incident which initiated the deployment of the safety car. And there is confirmation safety car in this lap, as I suspected. Scornsey will now essentially take the place of the safety car, which is what happens to the lead car upon the retrieval of the safety car. So he now dictates the pace. The cars behind have to go at the pace that he decides they will be going. You see him weaving, trying to get temperature into the tyres. He can go pretty much whenever he wants. He needs to wait for the safety car to get into the pits. He's gone pretty quickly actually upon the restart, though he could restart now if he really wanted to. Seems like he is going to go through the final corner first, and now here he goes. So he has restarted. Some pretty big gaps throughout the field, with the exception of Impossible Bacon, who finally looks to get himself some airtime and go down the inside of Coleslaw, but he thinks better. Lanzi makes the move on Hightower, who is helpless to defend in that situation. We have a yellow flag. I saw somebody the wrong way around. It was Calirob. Calirob, you don't get to avoid it, mate. I'm sorry. He may be living in California. No, he doesn't live in California. Maybe living in New York is what I meant to say, but I accidentally said something on literally the polar opposite side of the country. He may be living in New York, where the air is orange with Canadian wildfire smoke, but he doesn't get to avoid this smoke. Talking about avoiding, Slayrise does not get to avoid the challenge of Lanzi. The Red Bull right behind him is wanting to make the move. He tucks back into the slipstream and then goes down the inside, late on the brakes. A little bit of a lockup from Slayrise, and he may well have to cede the position to Lanzi after that little mistake in the braking zone. And he does. Lanzi up into P6 and looking on the back of Impossible Bacon. Of course, Bacon with that 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits means that essentially he is already behind Lanzi if the race was to finish now, but Lanzi will want to make his way past so that he can challenge for a podium place, which is where he will want to be after that qualifying performance and after knowing his own pace. And there he sets the fastest lap of the race, which is not a surprise when you consider the fact that he's used half of his battery on one lap, which is pretty much the allocation of a hot lap in qualifying. And he makes a fantastic move there on Bacon. At least he does if he can make it stick, and he does make it stick through the S section. So a great move there from Lanzi, all credit to him. Dace finally leaves the session. Unfortunate for him, this was a chance for him to make up essentially a huge points haul on No Jug, but he's failed to do that. What he hasn't failed to do is bottle it. He never fails to do that, so you know, he's anything but inconsistent. And here comes Lanzi looking to make the move on Coleslaw. He has more grip on those medium tyres than Sharir does on the hards, though he may struggle for grip come the end of this stint. He does make that move though, and it's pretty easy on Coleslaw. Coleslaw does not usually fight when he doesn't need to, unless it's to benefit his teammate or someone that he wants to do well, essentially. I mean, or if you're someone trying to pass him and he just happens to dislike you. I mean, he doesn't get many chances to fight race day in Midwest, let's be honest, but if he did, I'm sure he would put up a stern defence. Scornsey trying to defend from the attacks of Lusky behind him. He's at the fastest lap of the race. Dace has jumped up into the call, but is muted. I'm not sure if that's on my end or on his end. I don't know why I said my end as if I was speaking with the Maya from Mexico. Okay, you didn't want to interrupt me. First time for everything, I suppose. Let's turn Dace up. Dace, speak now.
Hello?
Okay, that should be loud enough. Hopefully the broadcast can hear him. Hello, Dace. Are you able to see what's going on, or do you need me to stream it?
Can you stream it, please? I turned my PlayStation off in rage.
You left because you were very, very angry at the fact that you can't go a race without making a mistake.
Yeah, it's really
talking
I
about
enjoy...
mistakes, and we aren't talking about me for once. DC Manaman has a 3-second time penalty in P3. That's going to hurt his chances of getting a podium, and that will elevate Lanzi to a net P3. Are you able to see everything well?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
It's fun not feeling a thing in this game and these cars. I love it.
Yeah, this game is kind of horrendous. You can't feel a thing on your wheel. It's horrid, honestly.
Unless you own a Fanatec, maybe.
Yeah, unless you're privileged, and then you get to be able to feel what the hell you're doing, I guess. Anyway, DC Manaman has a penalty, so that prompts Lindsay to take up into P3. You know what's coming next. The squeaky sound effect, and DC Manaman is being overtaken there by Lanzi, who is on an absolute charge. Possible Bacon retiring from the race in the pits. That's the best way to retire from the race in order to cause the least amount of disruption possible to the other drivers, which is of course very important. Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you want to inconvenience everybody else. So yeah, credit there to Bacon for going about it the correct way. A slight lull in proceedings here, the gap's hovering over or close to 1 second. So Dace, why don't you take us through what happened with your DNF if you are still around?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I was aware that, you know, there's just sudden loss of rear grip, and I wasn't really pushing. I don't think I could have taken my foot off of the gas anymore. Just the rear end just decided it was time. So
yeah,
pretty much it.
That seems like a common theme in this game, which is the reason that I don't play it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
that sort of thing.
I don't know why I turn up. But yeah, I mean, that same thing with the first spin. It just easily flat, and just suddenly the grip is gone. So, and by the time you feel it, it's too late. So there's really nothing that could have been done. I mean, maybe I could have ran more downforce, but I don't know how much that would have helped.
Yeah, I mean, that's the trade-off as well. You mean, you want to have a stable car, but you also don't want to be slow. So
yeah. But it happens. Wasn't not like there's a title fight, so
yeah. I mean, obviously, no jug not racing this weekend. It would have been a chance to gain some points, but
yeah, it's all good. I'll just hope Lancey does it.
Yeah, I mean, Lusky has been the absolute hero so far.
Yeah.
Up into P2, sorry, on that first lap, and he hasn't looked back since.
Bit of a send on lap 1. I personally wouldn't have made it 3 wide through there, that far inside, but you know, to each his own.
I mean, he did send it on lap 1, but I mean, he's now in P2.
Did send it. And I died, so.
Yeah, you made the right decision there. So Yeah, I mean, I think Lusky has a good understanding of. I don't think he sends it very often. I think he is cautious for the majority of the time, but when he does send it, it's a very well measured, logical send for the most part. And he is a real contender for P2 in the championship, I think, because these are the sort of drives that he just comes up with. 10 laps left, obviously.
I don't think those mediums will go the rest of the way for Lancey.
Yeah, this is one thing I was thinking of. I was talking about Hightower and his tyre situation because he was on the hards when the safety car came out.
At about lap 10, I think, or before I died, I think my tires were in the 40s. So about 10 laps in, I know he's probably getting close. I mean, 30-ish%. So, I mean, maybe if he backs off, it can last, but I don't know about passing Dusty and making those last.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him, especially following in dirty air that he is following in now, right behind the Williams driver, the Alpine driver, sorry. It is a tall order. I did think this myself, but also I don't want to write Lanzi off because I know he's a very good driver in his own right as well. So
the dirty air is horrendous.
Yeah, I think Hightower is also going to struggle, but he only has one more place that he can drop really, and that's to a faster driver in Calibob that you'd expect him to be passed by anyway. That being said, he isn't far away from the back of Slayer Rise, so maybe he can make something happen. Not to discourage or discredit him in any way.
This game could possibly throw a wrench in it. Give us another safety car, and Lancey would be right back in it for the win, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes like that, everybody pits onto it. If it comes in that sweet window of, oh no, Lanzi, that might lose the DRS. He should get it anyway because it was after the DRS detection point. But that hurt him a lot. Yeah, no. He's got it, yeah. But this is Dusty's chance to escape, and maybe that is an indication of the tyres starting to give up a little bit of grip.
He's right back in it, right down to 7/10.
Yeah, he had a good couple of corners there after getting the DRS.
Did Dusty make a mistake?
I don't think so. I think Lanzi is quicker, but once he gets within that sort of half a second window, the dirty air starts to kick in and he struggles to make as many inroads as he could, and that is something or other going on. That's Scornsy.
Oh my god!
What's gone on? What happened with Scornsy? Lusky's now in P1. What? I am beyond confused. It didn't look like he spun, it looked like he just slowed down for a laugh. You know, I'm
maybe
sure
for
it's
the
not
championship?
What he did.
Team games?
Maybe? But like, surely he appreciates that Lanzi is at risk of losing this completely with the tyres anyway, and maybe he just gave up P1. Maybe he just backs himself to be able to retake P1 from Dusty anyway. Or perhaps there was some sort of mistake there. I'm not sure. I didn't realise, I didn't notice anything from Scornsy, and as soon as I saw a lapped car, I thought it must, a ghosted car, sorry. I thought it must have been a lapped car or something. But for that to be the leader is very surprising. Calibob is right on the back.
It ghosted right at the right time. That was a huge brown pants moment.
We'll hop up to these two guys, and we have Lanzi trying to make the move around the outside of Lusky, who defends to the inside, which turns to the outside next corner. It looked like he's forced Lanzi off track a little bit there. They made a tiny bit of contact, and then they kept it mostly clean. The other fight that we were looking at did end up in Calibob taking the position, and off goes Hightower. As I accidentally
congratulations, Will, by the way. Not to interrupt you, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Have we switched off of the old calendar? Is it stuck on it? What's going on? Okay, no, it's back to the race. Okay. Apologies about that, guys. I need to remove that shortcut. I keep forgetting. And then I get to the race, and then I keep bringing up the old calendar by accident. Yeah, thank you, Dace. Thank you, appreciate it. Hightower is into the pits. Maybe he wants to try and get the fastest lap. Maybe he has given up with racing entirely. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out within the next 10 seconds or so. Lanzi, though, is right on the back of Lusky, who does not have any space in which to breathe.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go do some reconnaissance work.
Oh no, and there goes Lanzi!
No point.
I'm giving him a banana peel even though he didn't fully spin because he deserves it. And yeah, I think now Lusky has realised, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I think is the thought process in Lusky's brain. Though he has Scornsy to deal with.
Will Mystic back him up?
Yeah, I mean, Lusky, sorry, now knows what it's like to be defending for a win against Scornsy, which is what I had to do in Midwest, which I did win in Baku.
It is not fun. It is not fun.
But yeah, it is one hell of a pressure-filled experience. Scornsy is a top driver, and he's competed at the very apex of the F1 games in the past. So when you've got him behind you, you really need to pull out a little bit of gamesmanship. You need to
use a major toss-up between him and Ryan Rods are the most stressful people to have within a second of you.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Rods is incredibly quick as well, but I think Scornsy
incredibly aggressive as well.
Scornsy has that depth of experience, and I think that aggressiveness that you allude to with Ryan Rods is possibly not a strength in all situations.
I think that as well. Not in all situations. If I did have the preference, I would rather fight Mystic, just knowing he's clean and you can pretty much. I mean, we've gone side by side through multiple sectors and been fine. And I think he's more measured in terms of just following and approaching the battle that way.
Yeah, and he has the DRS now on Lusky, though I'm not sure it's going to be enough. I don't think it will be.
In the practice race, Scornsy had insane straight line speed, so if he's within 6/10, I think he'll be going past.
I mean, he gained quite a lot there, but it wasn't quite enough. And we see Calirob and Slayer Eyes side by side. Calirob takes that position at the end of the straight, so good driving from him. And yeah, I mean, I was defending from. I have one Midwest D1 win at the top division of Midwest.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, in Baku, which I had to beat Scornsy for.
Are you and you collectively Checo Perez?
Perhaps.
Since we've only won at street circuits?
And we do bottle a lot as well. Well, you do at least. Okay. The sample size for me is too small.
Because you don't race
considering I haven't raced, yeah. But I mean, you bring enough bottle for the both of us anyway.
I do. I got a case of them.
Hell yeah, dude. Cheers.
BRB, I am gonna go in the party and check on Lancey's tires. See what we can find.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna see if I can do something here. Bear in mind, bear with me because this may take a second. Okay, it's actually worked. Okay. I will go and make this small in the corner. Okay, so in the corner of your screen, as we see Scornsy trying to get past Mystic but not being able to. Something very interesting is about to occur, ladies and gentlemen. Scornsy's still right on the back of Lusky. He's going to get the DRS here. Are you guys ready for this? As Scornsy goes to the outside and can't quite make the move, but Lusky goes a little bit deep. Scornsy still just unable to make the move, and hello everyone. Let's go. Hopefully this doesn't look too horrendous. I'm in the Red Bull drip. Obviously, you know, we always drip in. We always drip in. It's got to be done. And we're watching along with this race. We've got the chin strap made out of sellotape because the headphones broke, and we improvise, adapt, and overcome. It's what you got to do. It's the motto for life. And Scornsy's motto for life just seems to be win-win-win as he goes to the outside here on Lusky. I don't know if Lusky can quite defend this one, though. He's going to try his hardest. He has the outside line though for the next corner, and Scornsy doesn't seem to be alongside. He has to back off a little. He's under some pressure now from Lanzi. And I have my little phone here, which I use to watch the races. I'm going to fix the quality so I can see myself in all that HD glory of absolute horrendousness. It's not very often that you see the main fight for the win. Not the main fight for the win. The main fight in the race being the fight for the win. And that's exactly what we have here. We've got Dace coming back from whatever hiatus he just took shortly.
I went into the PlayStation party to do some reconnaissance. Scornsy, in fact, did make a mistake. He had a big moment coming out of the second to last corner. And Lancey refused to disclose his tire status.
Is Dusty in the party as well?
Yeah.
There's your info. Alright. A bit of San Miguel Especial.
I assume after 13 laps I'm in the 60s. Especially with pad tire wear. I think for sure.
That's a good point. Look at this, right? I'm basically Spanish at this point. I don't know if VTech is still in the chat. We have labor único y auténtico desde 1890. I don't know how to say 1890 in Spanish. Scornsy though, he does speak Spanish and he would know how to say 1890 in Spanish, but he doesn't know how to get his way past Dusty Lusky on lap 25 of lap 28 in this race. Beautiful, beautiful,
18 y 90. I don't know.
We hear Dace live from the Spanish colony of Indiana, speaking brilliant Spanish, whilst also getting hit by 3 tornadoes at once. Scornsy on the back of Lusky, and
don't forget spinning. Don't
forget
the spin.
Move. A couple of laps remaining. And yeah, through the S section we go. The top 3 are really the place to pay attention to, I say, as I look at Calibob, who is not in the top 3, yet he's very close to the back of Sharir Coleslaw. Another area to pay attention to. DC Manaman gets the fastest lap of the race so far. An extra point for him.
Did he spin while I was on, or did he have to pit?
You know what? I'm not too sure.
He was running in P3.
He was up there. He does have a penalty, so I think that has factored into his decision making. As we see Scornsy again trying to attack Lusky, but again, it's not enough. Look, Scornsy, you can't take a win away from Lusky here. You know what? I'm going to make this promise to you all. If Lusky wins this race, we will do interviews. If Lusky does not win this race, we will not do interviews. So now, if you're an interview fan, you have something to root for. If you are an interview hater, then you're cringe. But also, you also have someone to root for. So there we go. I provide for everybody.
Very under control by Dusty, though. He's driving very smooth.
He's doing well, but I mean, Scornsy's not going to go anywhere, though he does not have much ERS left, so all I can say is
just in terms of the stress of having Scornsy and Lanzi behind you, it looks like he's handling it pretty well. He's driving.
He's doing a very good job of staying calm and collected. He is an absolute massive gym lad. But yeah, I'm
He was
glad
just
I'm
trying
not
to
in
get
his
done so we can go to
shoes.
the gym.
That's it, bro. He's in that Sigma grind set. That's what you need. But yeah, I mean, I've been there, done that. Being in the position of Dusty right now.
Imagine this is the one race you took a scoop of pre-workout before the race.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And here comes the next attempt from Scornsy. He looks like maybe he's close enough to make a dive, and he is going to make a dive. Down the inside he goes, but
Oh,
Lusky
thinks better of it.
again defends.
I think Scornsy backed out there.
Lusky successfully seeing out the straight again. I'm going to play the hell out of Total War Rome 2 when I finish this game, you know. This race. It's going to be good.
Can you see Scornsy's battery status? Looks like he's pretty low.
About 10%, 11% now. Goes to the final corner. A little bit higher for Dusty. He's on 21%. Yeah, Lansley's even lower. He's on about 3%. So we're coming on to the final lap of the race now. This is the final chance for Scornsy. We are all rooting, I think, for Lusky.
The most important sector of the race.
I like to be
Right
unbiased. But also I am absolutely, totally, and 100% rooting for Lusky. Scornsy's cool though.
Guy deserves a win.
I don't dislike Scornsy in any way whatsoever. He's a cool guy, but I think
he just won a lot
for Lusky. He's Canadian, so he's automatically nice.
Our favorite Mountie.
That's it. But can he mount the top of the
I
podium?
don't think he's close enough.
But
Not with his battery
is
status.
blinking with low ERS. He's deploying everything, and this is Scornsy's only opportunity. He's going to go to the outside this time, and Lusky's going to cover that one off, and I don't think he's going to be close enough. We'll jump on board with Landsy as DC Manaman picks up another 3-second time penalty. We'll hop on board with Lusky to watch this fight unfold as we approach the third sector. And actually, we're making our way through the third sector now, and I don't think this is going to be enough for Scornsy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this may be the maiden win for Lusky. Through the penultimate corner we go. Lusky just needs to not make any mistakes. He's blinking on the battery, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need that anymore. He has no need to defend, and he swerves to the inside and he takes the win. Dusty Lusky wins the race, followed by a Red Bull 2-3 to round off the podium. Calirob will be P4, and he has Sharir Coleslaw just behind him for a very nice P5 finish. P6 will be Slayer Eyes, with P7 being DC Manaman, who looks to take home the fastest lap of the race. Yep, let's have a look. 136.2, so he has that pretty comfortably, unless Hightower pulls something crazy out of the bag on the final round of the circuit. You will see a pause menu pop up now, because I need to hop to Discord. And ask the guys if they would like to join. So we had Scornsy.
With that win, Dusty has cut the championship down to less than a race win. It's 19 points.
We had Lusky and we had Landsy. Dace, if you would like to hop over to the interview room in Coleslaw Cup, we can continue this onwards. We're in the interview room now. If you would not like to see the pause menu every time we have to change tabs, feel free to get in touch and send me a monitor for free. That'll do. That would work. You don't want to see it? All you have to do is spend however much money that costs. Get it done. We will see if anybody actually joins for interviews. Dace has joined, which is helpful, I suppose. Dace, do you think you'd have any questions to ask anybody, or do you want me to riff it on my own?
I got a couple. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's helpful. as we see Lusky, an unfamiliar sight. It's Lusky on the top step of the podium. This is awesome, man. I'm happy to see this. I really am. This is just like real life, where the Red Bulls are on the top all the time, and this is awesome to see. I'm really happy for this. So, hell yeah, let's go, Lusky. Hey, Lusky, let's go, eh? Should I do the interviews in my Canadian accent, eh? What do you think,
Oh, no,
guys?
that's just his first one of this season.
Hey, first one of the season there, bud, eh? Hey, bud, I better hurry up and get off the podium, because me Nemo bars are nearly finished there, bud. Yeah, pretty good, eh? By pretty good, I mean absolutely fucking horrendous. Oh my goodness, Lanzy23 is already in the lobby. Who could have predicted this? Godverdomme, P3. Oh well.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't even know if anybody else is going to join. I'm assuming Lusky will. I don't know about Scornsy. But I mean, let's just start it off with you. Talk us through that race from your perspective.
Well, started off a bit poor because I was speeding. But someone pushed the button, so I had to start on the hards.
Hell yeah, dude. That's how you start.
That's kind of unfortunate, but then I fucking bottled it and I spun. Luckily, they bottled it more, so I got back in.
You can always trust on Days to bottle him more. He left. He left.
Yeah.
Okay, he's back.
Interviews now.
Yeah, I got back in. The mediums worked pretty well. But at the end, yeah, I think I could have gotten Dusty when I was in second, but then I got the moment. And after that, the tires were gone, so it was just staying in the DRS with those guys. But
What did those mediums finish on? I didn't think 16 laps would be possible.
69 something.
Hey, nice. Should get an extra point.
It's actually better than I thought. I figured you'd be tiptoeing around puncture territory with
Yeah,
how
but-
bad one.
I put it again for fresh mediums at the last lap for the safety car, I thought. And that was the smart move in the end, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I do have a question for a race winner.
Okay, we'll
I
leave
guess
that for when we
I
talk
guess I'm
to
skipping a line.
Lusky. No,
What's
we'll
up,
talk to Scornsy first. We'll go in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming he's ready to. Yeah, I think he is. All right. Congratulations on P2, Scornsy. I know obviously you'll want to be winning every race. You know, every race you go into is with the target of winning. But I mean, yeah, talk us through that. And how could you not get Dusty at the end there? We were watching those last 4 or so laps, and we thought you were gonna get a move done, especially on the end of the long straight, but just didn't quite have the top speed, I suppose, or the exit perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I was the first half of the race. I was managing my pace pretty well, managing the gap, building a gap, and then I was feeling good, settled into a nice rhythm, and then from there, unfortunately, the hearts once I got onto them, I don't know. At first it was it was cool, it was fine, but the second to last corner, I ended up making a mistake. Catching the outside curbs, and then I got on the power a little bit too hard, and I had a crazy save. Otherwise, I would have smashed right into the wall there on the left side. So I'm happy that I didn't do that. But yeah, after that, it was just kind of like just trying to recover from there and catching back up to Lancey and Dusty, and yeah, I mean, I had really good straight line speed, but I was running way lower wings compared to Dusty, so he would anytime that I would gain on the straights, he would just make it right back up on sector 1 and 3. So I knew I had to try to pounce, and I was trying to force him into some errors and trying to get him to waste his battery a little bit, mismanage his ERS and whatnot, but Yeah, unfortunately, I just couldn't get the move done. I tried it, but he was defending very well on the inside there after the really long straight, so just couldn't get a move.
Yeah, it did look like a great defensive performance, and Dusty was he always seemed to be in the middle of the track. He did manage to do a decent enough job on the ERS. Dace did highlight the top speed from the practice race as something to look at, but I guess it wasn't quite enough to offset the deficit through the corners. But we'll move on to Dusty now, I suppose. Firstly, massive congratulations, Dusty.
Thank you.
Great job. I promised, and by promised I mean I told Dace about 5 minutes ago that I was going to do this incredible interview in my Canadian accent, so hey there, bud. How are you there?
Oh, she's going good, bye. How are you?
Oh, she's good, pal. You can reward yourself with an AMO bar there, eh?
I'm gonna get me tuna Nemo bars, I think.
Hey, talk me through that race there, bud, before the polar bear gets me.
It was fun. I I was pretty satisfied with P2 because, Mystic was gone. He was like 3 seconds up the road after the safety car. And then, he had that moment. And it was just enough that, I was able to get ahead of him going to the last turn. And then I just did my best to save my battery throughout the lap so I could kind of use it a little bit on the back straight just when he was getting close. And, I just try to make my car as wide as possible. His lack of downforce was insane on that back stretch, so it was tough to keep him behind for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he did do a very good job defensively. It's something I highlighted. But let's say with 3 laps left of that race, did you think you were going to get the win? Did you think it was going to be P2? Where was your head at with the 3 laps or so
I thought
to
I had
go?
a good chance of winning. But I mean, like, he was just so fast. I knew that if he got ahead of me at any point, I didn't have the speed to catch him in the straightaway. So I just, did my best to not let that happen, right? So, but, I think lap 28 of 28, when I crossed the finish line, I thought, maybe I could win this. So, but other than that, it was touch and go.
I think Dace had a question as well, if he's still here.
You took my question. That's all good.
I was just such a good interviewer that I've already covered the only thing that Dace could ever possibly think of.
I don't know if you caught it on stream, but me and Dace and Lanzi had a real nice 3 wide moment going down the back stretch. That was fun.
And that was before Dace bottled it and spun into the wall, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it had to be,
Just
right?
wanted to make sure. I mean,
Thanks for that. That's nice. Well, usually I'm in the party for this, but what was going on through your brain during those last 10 laps? I mean, I think it was I forget when it was that he spun, but I know it's not fun to have Mystic just breathing down your neck within a second. So, what was going on through your brain there? Was it a brown pants moment pretty much every time you went down the back straight, just afraid that he was going to come zooming by?
Yeah, I think I made an extra inch or so in my gas pedal, pushing it through the floor. But no, I even said to him in the party, I was like, this is not fun. Keeping you behind me is not fun. So, and then, like he was saying, he tried to force me into mistakes, and I did make a mistake in turn 1. I went wide, and all I could hear was him just kind of, laughing behind me, right? He knew that he forced me to that mistake, so I tried to,
It could have been a commentator's curse. I did say to Will towards the end that it looked very under control by you, that, it didn't look like he was pushing you in any mistakes or that it was getting into your head. It was just looked very controlled, very smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I just basically, other than down the back stretch, just tried to just do hot lap after hot lap, just to try and make as much time like he said, in Sector 1 and Sector 3, so that he wouldn't catch me. Like that long right-hander in Sector 3. I don't know if it was the dirty air behind me or just a lack of wings, but I was able to pull about a 10th in that, which was just enough to keep them behind me on the start-finish straight. And then coming out of the last little section there and going to the backstretch, I was able to have, just enough to at least, not let him pass, but, get beside me sort of thing. So.
I will say within about half a second there, then it is almost impossible to follow behind someone, especially in Sector 1. With you having more downforce, I mean, you played that perfectly.
Yeah, it's just one of those risk-reward things, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, like, kudos to him. Had he not, had that moment, he would have been 15 seconds up the road, with me trying to defend Delancey at that point, right? So.
I didn't think. I was rooting for Lansey to get up there, but it didn't look like he was going to be able to get there and stay past. I thought his tires would have been much further along, so I was surprised to hear they weren't even at 70 with the pad tire wear. So
yeah, there was a time.
Yeah,
there was a time when he got up behind me, when Mystic was about 3 seconds ahead of me, and I was thinking, well, if Lansey can get ahead of me, I'll just try and stay in his DRS. Maybe he can drag me to Mystic, and then hopefully his tires go off. But in the end, it worked out differently, and it worked out. So.
Yes, it did, and great drive by you. I won't ramble on and on. Just congratulations on that one, and nice P2 for Scorency.
Thank you.
And Lancey, who's no longer here. I'm surprised he made it all the way back up from having to pit so early.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Just want to say real quick again, just massive congrats to Dusty. One hell of a defense from him. I know he's feeling pretty good about that win, and I mean that was a good battle. So yeah, that was nice. Good stuff.
I appreciate it.
It's a good last few laps to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it back actually. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Lansey's left us. The sun is coming up here. I've just opened my window and the sky is a sort of very dark blue, and he's an hour later than me, so I don't think I can blame him for that. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to both of you. You both drove very well there, and it's a podium at least. You got to take the positives. So congratulations, guys, and thanks for giving us an entertaining race that went to the very end. I think we can probably end it off there, honestly. I think that's about everything we wanted to cover. So I will say good night to you all. It's good morning for me. I'm just about ready to open the front door, go out and start my day. I'm just looking out my window now. I'm sure you can see it on the webcam out there. You can see the light coming through a little bit. It is pretty much daytime, but we make sacrifices for Coleslaw Cup because it is the awesome competition that it is. So yeah, good night everybody. Gute Nacht, Welterüste. I don't know what the hell it is in French or Spanish. What is it? Is it Buenos Dias? Is that good day? What's good night in Spanish, Days? You're American. You're kind of close to Mexico.
I think it would be Buenos noches.
That sounds right. Let's go with Buenos noches. Buenos noches, Gute Nacht, and Welterüste allemaal. We're gonna say goodbye here from Coleslaw Cup, and we'll see you all guys for the next race, because hell yeah, this is fun, and we have the webcam now set up. I may even make a template where we have the race and we have the webcam, and maybe we have I don't know, Pepe Wow emotes everywhere. Pictures of fish with Dace's head photoshopped on it. the possibilities are endless. We can do whatever we want. So, but thank you all for watching, and we're going to end it off